Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا دَاوُودَ وَسُلَيْمَانَ ilma. And indeed, and surely, we gave knowledge to Dawood alayhi salam and to Sulaiman alayhi salam. What was given to them? Knowledge, right? Ilm was given to them, right? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, the next thing, in the same instance, in the same ayah, He quotes that, what was the proof that they were knowledgeable, right? He quotes them. He said, وَقَالَ, and both of them said, Alhamdulillahi allazi faddalana ala kasirin min ibadihil mu'mineen. The words that are quoted from them to say that these were knowledgeable people are the words of being grateful. That the thing that they said was that we are grateful to Allah. Praise belongs to Allah who made us excel among many of His believing servants. To Allah, the sign of ilm was not that Sulaiman alayhi salam had the control over wind, he had the knowledge of the language of all creatures, that he could control the jinns as he wanted. That Allah didn't matter. That was knowledge, that was knowledge. The true sign of knowledge was that he was grateful to Allah, that he didn't think that any of this was his birthright, because he was son of Dawood alayhi salam, the one who had control over mountains and the birds, the one whose hand the iron would melt and mold into whatever he wanted. So if my father had it, I would have it too. If I don't have it, I'll be like, oh, what's this? How so unfair? Why did my father have it? Why didn't I have it? It was not. The sign of the ilm was that they were grateful. They were grateful. They acknowledged that it is Allah who needs to be praised, who excelled us. فَضَّلَنَا عَلَىٰ كَثِيرٍ, right? Who excelled us from whom? مِنْ إِبَادِهِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, from among His other believing servants. The rest were probably as deserving as well, because they were all believers. But if we were given something, that's His grant. And that to Allah is the sign of ilm. Humility, submissiveness, gratefulness is the sign of that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is what I want to perhaps just use the last example and close this topic, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then quotes how Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, he expressed his gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's an incident, I'll quote that incident as well, that Sulaiman alayhi salam was going with his army of jinn, animals, birds, all of them, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given in his control. And when they were passing through a forest or a place, an ant saw the marching troops coming over, and that ant ran over to the community of ants and said to the community of ants that Sulaiman alayhi salam and his troops are coming, take refuge, hide yourself, take cover, because they may not even know and they'll crush you. They will not even notice and they'll crush you. The reason I'm quoted this small incident is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has quoted an ant. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Qalat namlatun. That an ant, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is quoting a ant. That Ya ayyuhan nam, udkhulu masakinukum. That, ants, enter your homes. It may be that Sulaiman and his army, they would not, they would not even acknowledge that you were there, and they will crush you unknowingly, right? Why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quote an ant in the Quran? And not only would the ant be quoted, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also named a surah of the Quran after an ant. The surah is called Surah An-Naml. You specify? Why would that be the case? The reason that Allah quoted an ant whose quote would be recited till the day of judgment, and a surah would be thought after till the day of judgment, is because that ant did not, when it saw the army coming, it did not just go and run and hide on its own. It had the kindness in it to go and inform this whole community. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves it when we show kindness to others, when we are thoughtful about others, when we take care of others. it would have been very easier, it would have been perhaps easier for the ant to just hide itself, and perhaps it risked its life by staying out that much longer to warn the others, as opposed to instantly taking a cover itself. But because it took that risk and informed others, and perhaps because of its warning, the entire community got saved, because it showed that level of care, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only quoted what it said, but rather even named the surah after an act. So that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Side note, but worth keeping in mind. Sulaiman alayhi salam, given that he had the knowledge of the language of all creatures, he understood, or he heard what the ant had said. When he heard it, he smiled, and then he said something which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quotes again. Right? And this is what I wanted to come to. Remember, he said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given them knowledge, and they were thankful, they were grateful to Allah for that knowledge. Here is an example of how this knowledge of being able to listen to the language of different creatures, how Sulaiman alayhi salam was thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These ayah that I'm about to read is a dua. We should know this dua, all of us. Not only, inshallah, when I explain it, listen to this explanation with the understand, or with the mindset that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has quoted this dua as an example, that when we want to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should be grateful in this manner. When we want to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should ask in this manner. When we want to address Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should address with similar etiquettes. Right? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as I said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala quotes certain things because there is a lesson in it for us. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? He says that waqala. So Sulaiman alayhi salam said, Rabbi awzi'ni, O Allah. This word awzi'ni, right, we translate it to say enable me, but it really means that stop me, restrain me, refrain me, right? Rabbi awzi'ni, so stop me, refrain me, or hold me back from what? That an ashkura ni'mataka allati an'amta alayya, that I restrain me from not being grateful for the blessings that you have bestowed upon me. And not just blessings, from your blessings that you have bestowed upon me. So I'll break this down even further. Rabbi awzi'ni, in simple words, Ya Allah, enable me, an ashkura, that I be grateful, ni'mataka, for what? For your blessings, right? Allati an'amta alayya, that you have bestowed upon me. Now look at this. There is nothing that he is taking credit for himself. Right? He could have said that, Ya Allah, enable me to be grateful for the blessings that I have. There is no I. There is no I. There is no for granted taken over here. There is no acknowledgement of that, whatever I have is actually I was meant to have it, but I'm grateful that you allowed me to have it. It is that an ashkura ni'mataka, that I be grateful for your blessings. These are your blessings. I had no right upon them. I have no right upon them. If I didn't have them, I could not have claimed them. If I didn't have them, I could have not gone and brought them to me on my own. If I didn't have them, I could have not held them with me. These are your blessings. An ashkura ni'mataka, your blessings. Allati an'amta alayya, that you have bestowed on me, that you have blessed me with. Meaning that it's yours and only you can give them to me. Nor do I own them, neither do I have the power to possess them or acquire them. This is being grateful, that you give 100% credit back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You give 100% acknowledgement back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You keep Him the master of what you have. A slave cannot say ibad. Ibad is slave. A slave does not say that I have things. Slave says whatever I have is what my master has given to me. Whatever I have is given to me my Rabb, my master, I cannot have anything of my own. I am grateful to my master that he gave me this, this and this. If my master had chosen not to give me any of that, what could have I done? Neither are things my own, nor do I have the power to acquire them. Nor do I have the power to acquire them. Rabbi awzi'ni an ashkura ni'mataka allati an'amta alayya wa ala walidayya. And even on my parents. It's not that I have these blessings. Alhamdulillah, these blessings have been with my parents as well. Why not be grateful for them? And we should be grateful for our parents, for the things that my parents have, because the blessings slow down. The blessings slow down. So if Allah have given me these blessings, it's most likely because Allah gave them to my parents. And that's why they have flown down to me. So not only am I grateful for what has been given by Allah of His things to me, I'm also grateful for what He gave of His things to my parents. Right? And then, وَأَنْ أَمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَاهُ. It's continuing from that awzaini, that first part was that an ashkura ni'mataka allati, then continuing an amala salihan, that awzaini an amala salihan tardahu, that I am able to, and that enable me to perform actions which are good. Amal salih, what kind of actions are those? They are those actions which are good deeds, right? But here's a additional catch over here, which many of us become sort of forgetful about. Remember in the previous session, what did we say? That the ones who do not believe in the akhirah, what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do to them? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adorns their actions for them, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala adorns their actions from them, and their deeds are made, they are made to believe that the actions that they are doing are excellent. Even at the start of the session, I said that if we do not believe, for those who do not believe, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make them believe that their prayers, that what they're doing is great, right? So they may be doing great, good deeds. They may be doing amal salih. They may be doing deeds which are pious deeds. They may be praying. They may be doing zakat, som. They might be doing all of that. But because the sincerity is missing, they are deeds which are not accepted in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just the good deeds are not good enough. Deeds, and this is what it says, amala salihan tardahu, good deeds that you, O Allah, you are pleased with. Good deeds that you like. So just don't give me good deeds. I don't want a list of good deeds that I've done and every day I check mark, oh, I've done this deed, this deed, this. Every day I do charity of 100 dirhams and I feel, oh, mashallah, I'm so generous. I want to do an action that is pleasing to you. Who has this concern that my actions should be pleasing to my master? An abd. An abd is worried about only the pleasure of master, not because he is going to get anything extra from the actions he is going to do, but only because it's going to please the master. Please the master. وَأَنْ أَمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَاهُ وَأَدْخِلْنِي بِرَحْمَتِكَ, and enter me بِرَحْمَتِكَ, from your blessing, by your blessing, out of your mercy, not because I have done actions which are pleasing to you. First he asked that one amala salihan tardahu. He could have said because of those actions that were pleasing to you, now enter me into Jannah. Right? I already have an action. Not only do I have good deeds, I also have those deeds which were pleasing to you. So as it is, I could have claimed that I have all the points. Now based on those points, get me into Jannah. Still no. Even now, being an ibad dictates, requires that we say that out of your mercy, out of your kindness, out of your blessings, by virtue of your blessings, birahmatika fi ibadika salihin, make me enter among those or who are your righteous servants. This dua is a beautiful example of what it takes to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I'm to conclude and put it in simple words, it says basically that being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means that we return every blessing that we have back to Him. Any good action that we get to do, we ask for it to be a source of pleasure for Him, so that there is sincerity in it, so that there is only and only one requirement out of it, that it is pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَنْ أَمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَاهُ. And then we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all of it, not because we have done any good, not because I am any better, because I am such a pious person, because I am in company of such righteous people, or I do these lectures, or I hold these sessions. None of that. Because of your mercy. Your mercy, Ya Rab. Your mercy. I am dependent on you for everything. This is being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Returning and acknowledging everything that we have back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want us to be mindful of this, that whenever we get to stop ourselves from misusing our tongue, misusing our eyes, misusing our ears, then we do not feel proud that I have become very pious. That we sit and we say, Ya Allah, I am so grateful that you allowed me to use the blessing of tongue, eye and ear that you have given to me in the manner that is pleasing to you. It is pleasing to you. I am grateful for the blessings, for your blessings that you give to me, and to use them in the manner that is pleasing to you. When we acknowledge and when we are thankful, when we are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this manner, inshallah, we can hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not only allow us to stay neutral, but will increase us to become positive. La in shakartum la azidannakum. Right, so with that, that's the second task that we should be doing in our preparation for Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for us and to allow us to follow all that we have heard